Peter, don't. They say if you watch that video, you die.
Ah, that's a lot of baloney.
Okay, so, hear me out. Ghost in the Shell, standalone complex, 2045, is actually not that bad.
You what?
All right, I know. I'll get to that in a minute. Jesus, man, can I at least get the video started? So about 2 years ago, I developed an obsession with cyberpunk, and what followed was a multiple month-long crack binge of nothing but cyberpunk.
Don't tell anybody, I'll kill you! I'll kill you!
Serial Experiments Lane, Akira, Psychopaths, The Matrix, and of course, Ghost in the Shell. And after watching the 1996 movie over 7 times, and then finishing Standalone Complex twice, Ghost in the Shell then quickly became my favorite franchise. So you can imagine my delight when I heard the sequel series to Standalone Complex came out earlier in that year. Oh boy, I'm getting ready to take the next step to the rest of my life.
A few moments later.
What happened? I don't remember Ghost in the Shell being animated using Fortnite models. Why are we fighting football players? Who is this guy? I didn't know criminals were made out of rubber bands. How did this happen? In my mind, Netflix, Sola Digital Arts, and Production IG had just somehow managed to destroy the entire legacy of Standalone Complex in one foul swoop. An art style that had no semblance of the aesthetic that the original had, mocap animation that was gratuitously overacted at best, and outright embarrassing at worst. Characters are doing things way out of their established roles in the first few episodes, and of course, this. Don't worry, I still haven't forgot about that. Simply calling the show a dumpster fire would just be doing the series such an injustice. No. This series deserves a title most fitting of its accomplishments. Ladies and gentlemen, what we have here may very well be the world's first Landfill Inferno. But wait, then why did you say it wasn't that bad? Well, in a display of something I can only describe as a subconscious act of masochism, about a week ago, I decided to go back and give the show another try. I was fully expecting to hate it, make a video shitting all over it, and then move on to the next topic. But after watching a few more episodes, I found myself doing something completely unacceptable to the anime community. Enjoying myself. Yes, despite all the burning garbage around me, I was able to start picking up the pieces of what actually ended up being quite an engaging story. I'm gonna kind of call it like it is here. If you can get past episode 4, then you start to be introduced to the post-human plotline, which centers around the physical and psychological phenomenon called, you guessed it, post-humanism. I know, creative, right? Essentially, this sees victims suffering from falling unconscious, running a high fever, unusual changes in appetite, and a radical difference in personality. All before they develop heightened mental and physical capabilities and inevitably try to find a way of tearing down human society. In other words, your normal user on Twitter. Now mind you, this plotline isn't perfect. It leaves some questions unanswered, mainly, this one. And it's a bit too fantastical for a neo-noir cyberpunk series that is usually rooted more in crime and politics, but it's not a bad idea, and the execution of it's actually pretty good. Each episode, usually, finds a way to go more and more in depth with the current post-human that we're dealing with, and then is able to follow it with either intense action or engaging criminal investigation to track their whereabouts. What's crazy is that's not where the show stops shining. In both Japanese and English, the entire main cast reprised their roles, which is kind of insane, seeing as how most of the cast is probably old enough now that they had their 21st birthday on the fucking Titanic. It was just a joke, Crispin Freeman. I love you. Please don't hate me. The role reprisal actually gives the show a lot more familiarity and a general stronger feeling of continuity with its source material. And honestly, it just feels like a nice, really polished detail, considering most franchises, even other Ghost in the Shell properties, seem to just have a revolving door of voice actors. The new characters, like everything in the show, are kind of a mixed bag though. But the good thing is there's only 3 characters you really need to worry about. Up first, we have Akane. Excuse me. Wrong cyberpunk franchise. We have Prim, or if you prefer Japanese, Pudding. No, I'm not joking. That's actually her name in Japanese. Prim is the energetic, overenthused type character that contributes to the team in unorthodox ways. Overall, I like her spunky attitude. I'd say she's a welcome addition to the cast. And next up, we have Standard. Yes, that is his name. And oh boy, I could do an entire video just talking about this guy. But for the sake of your sanity and mine, I'm going to try to keep it short for this video. I know I'm probably going to reiterate myself here, but the first time I saw him, I actually thought that they imported one of the default models from Fortnite. I'm not lying when I say I actually worked up a cold sweat bracing for the time where I'd see a default dance in the middle of a fucking firefight. Standard is arrogant, incompetent, a terrible comedian, and serves as the lowest form of comic relief in the show. They should have just named him Scruff Muffin. And when the writers decided it was time to stop slacking and actually give the show a leg to stand on, they just got rid of him. And thank God, because the show got a hell of a lot better once he left. You know, there's a technical term for characters like this, and it's called a fucking shit character. In conclusion, 0 out of 10, would not recommend, will be leaving a negative review on Yelp. And lastly, we have Agent Smith. No, I'm not joking. I feel like a broken record at this point. His actual name is NSA Agent John Smith. And quite honestly, if the first thing that you thought was Agent Smith from The Matrix, then congratulations, you live on planet Earth. And you also have all the information you need to know about this character. He's calm, sly, conniving, likes to wear sunglasses, and seems to know everything. You know, this brings up another trend that I actually really don't like about this series, which is Ghost in the Shell ripping off franchises that it inspired. Now, I understand referencing is a thing, and a lot of writers use this to include little Easter eggs and can spice up the story a little bit with it. But there's a difference between a reference and a blatant fucking ripoff. Like again, going back to Prim's character being almost one-for-one for Akane's early character at least, and now you literally just have Agent Smith from The Matrix. I don't know, maybe it's just a personal thing, but I really do think Ghost in the Shell being the original franchise that inspired those other properties, it should be the trendsetter, not the follower. It just feels cheap when you do it. It's like when a parent moves in with their children. Despite some of the honestly minor nitpicks, Agent Smith does actually work pretty well to keep an opposing force that's always close by. And once you get over the blatant plagiarization, he's actually a welcome addition to the cast. Ah yes, and now we come to the elephant in the room. The thing that everybody here wants to try to hear me defend. That one thing that is so inexcusable that almost everybody turned up their noses to the series when they saw it. Where is Togus' Monty? No, seriously. Edgewood, the revolution of the 14-year-olds. God help us all. I'm not gonna lie, I thought that this was actually a bad translation or something, but no. That's the actual title. So something this terrible can't possibly be defended. And you're an idiot for even trying, I hear you saying with your dumb mouth and head. Shut up. I guess I'll just start off by saying that this episode title is atrocious, and whoever came up with it should be burned at the fucking stake. I'm just kidding. Was a joke. But the episode is actually pretty good, and quite possibly one of the standout episodes of the series. Allow me to explain. So the episode starts off as just a normal day in the life of Gerard Way here, but over the course of the next few minutes, you can kind of tell that the scenes with him are part of some kind of psychotic episode. And then Red Dawn happens.
What's going on here, my friend?
Spoiler warning for anyone who cares. After a lot of, civil conversation, flashbacks, and investigation, we find out the reason that our boy Gerard developed post-human powers. It's because he witnessed a classmate that he was close with presumably get sexually abused and then commit the not alive over it. Which is like, pretty dark, but unfortunately realistic. We then come to the conclusion that Takashi, oh yeah, by the way, his name is actually Takashi, wrote a program to punish the teacher who sexually abused his friend. The program that he wrote used the cyberbrain connection to fry, well, his brain. And then he just like pieces out. Roll credits. This episode is the first of an arc that ends the series, and honestly, the whole thing is pretty engaging. A lot of the arc is centered around Takashi's memories and trying to piece together what happened in his past to turn him into a post-human. And honestly, I really like it. Now again, just like everything in this series, it's not perfect. It's still a little too fantastical for Ghost in the Shell. There's still a lot of questions left unanswered, but hey, it worked. And I'm excited to see what Season 2 will offer. At the very least, it looks like it'll have better animation. Hello there. This was not the video I actually wanted to make, surprisingly enough. This video was actually supposed to be a hell of a lot longer than what it ended up being. I was supposed to have like a whole intro skit like some of the previous videos I've done. I was supposed to have quite a few more jokes. But hey, you boys got deadlines, and in case you didn't notice, probably by the time this video goes up, Ghost in the Shell's Season 2 will be coming out, like, this week. So, had to get the video done, had to cut a lot of stuff out, so please forgive some of the less than, what's the word I'm looking for? Satisfactory edits and also jokes. But to be fair, if you're watching my channel, you're used to less than satisfactory edits and jokes. This is the part of the video now where I shill myself. If you liked said video, you should totally hit the like and subscribe button. It would help me get some promotion from YouTube because the YouTube gods really like those things. And also, if you like some of the background music that was playing during this video, those were demos from an upcoming project that myself and my buddy, just hit the shit out of my mic, Sable Symphony, have been working on for like 2 years, called Complex. It's like a cyberpunky new metal music project that we've been doing. So I do have a channel up for it. I will link that down in the description if you are so inclined. However, that channel hasn't been updated in forever. And yeah, I would also not really hold your breath for like a lot of frequent updates because this channel has been taking a lot of my priority, and also I've been having a lot of real life stuff going on. I am still moving, so that is currently what I'm dealing with. So, yeah, that's about all I got, though, for this video. So, again, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next video.